Welcome back to the Work of Wellbeing podcast. I'm Amy Green, your host from The Wellness Strategy, and we're here to talk about all things personal and professional wellbeing. This podcast is designed to help you become curious and consider your everyday wellbeing strategies, what you do for your own wellness, and how you can start to transform your life both in and out of the workplace. Sit back, grab a cup of tea, maybe grab a notepad, a journal, and get ready to feel really enlightened about what wellbeing used to be, what it is now, and where you can take your own wellness strategy. Hello and welcome back to another episode of the Work of Wellbeing podcast. I'm Amy from The Wellness Strategy, your host for today. It is just me. We are hanging out. You know what I love about schools? How we're never short of an idea. Gosh, we're never short of an idea or a thing to do, are we? I mean, whether we think of them ourselves, whether it's from a book we read, a conference we attend, a podcast we listen to, maybe like this one, something that appears in your inbox or you see on social media. There's just never a dull moment in options. It's crazy. It's a bit like pick and mix, isn't it? It's like going into a candy store. I mean, I'm not American. I don't know why I said candy, but going into a candy store. Has anyone ever been to M&M World? It's like that. I don't know if you've ever been there, but they have every color of M&M you could ever imagine. It's like going in there and being surrounded by this rainbow of temptation. And oh my gosh, I want to sample everything. And so what do? We say, yeah, I'll have a little bit of that and a little bit of that and a little bit of this and a little bit of that. And it's okay. It's kind of okay. But then they all get mixed together and they end up tasting like the same thing anyway, because no one really knows where we started. And we certainly don't know where we're going to end up. And we've kind of mixed things along the way. And, some that might be a little bit more overpowering. Like if you have sour worms in your party mix, they're going to stand out. But the strawberries and creams and the peaches and creams and the milk bottles, they just get mushed into one. This is like schools. We see all of these things and we think we're going to do all of the things. And then over time, some things start to mesh together and we're like, was this or was that? Why are we doing that? Where did this come from? And then we've got these random ideas that are just hanging out on their own like sour worms, being like, whoa, where did that come from? And you know why this is? Because we just get too excited. We want to do all of the things instantly because we feel like we need to do all of the things instantly in order to be doing a good job. Gosh, that's so far from the truth. That's a story we need to change. It's really inaccurate. You don't need to do all of the things. Even personally, in our personal lives, you don't need to do all of the things to be living a great life. In fact, you know what I have really come to realize? Less is so much more fun. It's so much easier. If you want less stress in your life, have less options. If you want to do things better, then do less things better, not more things scattered. If you really want to have meaning, just have a few things where they come from and prioritize them and let everything else go. We've overcomplicated life and we've overcomplicated work. We've overcomplicated schools by trying to do all of the things, and all of a sudden everything feels kind of meaningless. There is also another reason this happens, and it's because we don't consider implementation. We just consider ideas. So we have all these wonderful ideas and often we say yes to them, but what we haven't really sat down and thought about is, how are we going to do that? How are we going to implement these things? How's that going to happen? And I don't mean this in terms of perhaps pedagogy work, but I also mean it in terms of my work. People want to work with me, they sign up to do some great work, and then when I talk to them about dates or logistics or I'm actually making time for it, it's like, oh, I'm not really sure. And we just can't do things if we don't consider how we're going to do it. Too often we know our needs. We know what it is we need to improve. Or maybe we don't and we just like the look of something. So we kind of go through these different options or ideas, or we attend conferences and go to all the stalls to get the free pens, but also to get the different ideas that we might want to use. Gosh, there were so many. I was at EduTech this year and was just overwhelmed by choice of what schools could possibly be doing. It's just a minefield. No wonder it's overwhelming when we're doing all of these things, not really knowing what we're doing. And so I think we need to slow this down a bit. We need to identify, but gosh, we just need to identify a couple of areas, one thing or two, three max. Look at some different options and then decide what to innovate on and where. But the thing we don't do well, the thing we overlook, the thing that we really disregard is implementation. Like, how are we going to implement what we've chosen to do? And we don't do this at all. We don't consider implementation. We just consider ideas, whether or not it looks good, and whether or not we think we should be doing it. And who decides that? So when we're thinking about ideas that might look good on paper or look good in email, or the school down the road is doing them, or we've seen it at a conference, or someone has, found us found our email and flicked us something, and we've jumped online and thought, yeah, this is great. Before we say yes, we need to take a step back and we need to ask, how are we going to implement this? How will this be implemented? What are the steps? What is the time frame? What is the expectation? What capacity does staff need to have? And then we need to ask, can we actually do it? Do we have the time available needed to do this thing really well? Do we have the space in our calendars to be able to make this a priority? Do we have the resources needed, whether that's staff training, whether that's tangible resources? Do we actually have them? And do we have capacity to take this on? And then, how are we going to make this work alongside everything else? Is there room to let something go? When we're implementing things, we also want to de-implement. We don't just want to add more because it looks good. This decision-making thinking is not what underpins decision-making in most schools. What underpins decision-making in most schools is this going to benefit students? Yes. Can we afford it? Yes. Great, let's do it. Like, there's not really much else in many cases, because we just get too excited for the kids. And I get it. I totally get it. But I can tell you from the work that I do, this decision-making process is really impacting workload. It's impacting culture. It's impacting well-being, because we are not thinking about how we're going to implement initiatives. Great initiatives don't work unless they're implemented well. And when you overlook the implementation phase of any type of change work, you're overlooking the effectiveness of what it is you're implementing in your school and whether or not it's actually going to work. It's not going to work if you don't have clear implementation. And clear implementation is not just, this is what we're doing, it's the how. It's the micro checkpoints for this is what it will look like, but these are the steps along the way. We have to start thinking about, when we're implementing new things in schools, like we would if we're backwards mapping a unit of work. When we backwards map a unit of work, we take the big idea, we know where we want to end up, we might look at a summative task so that we can assess whether or not we've done something really well, and then we backwards map it into our weeks and our days and our lessons, so we can see every single step along the way, and then we can plan and prepare and resource and consider capacity for that. When we're doing any type of change or any type of new thing in our school, we need to do this exact process for staff. We need to decide, where do we want to end up and at what time frame? How will we know if we got there, which is like our summative assessment? How will we know if we got there? What does it look like? What are the benchmarks we want people to meet along the way? So if you're implementing a new pedagogical approach or formative assessment or continuous reporting or anything like that, we don't just announce it and say, go and do it. That's startling to people's nervous systems. It puts their fight, flight, or freeze up. It sends people into panic. We don't do that. We say, we're going to go on a journey of continuous improvement. We're going to be looking at using formative assessment. This is a 12-month journey for us. So this year, what we're focusing on doing is building knowledge, building our toolkit, and building resources around how we bring in these elements to our classroom. From next year, this will be what we're doing. This is your opportunity this year to learn, to grow, to collaborate. In semester 1, we want to see about a 50-50 split of what formative assessment and summative assessment could look like. In term 1, we're going to ask that you just replace one of your 4 tasks with a formative assessment rather than summative. We're going to give you an opportunity to think about that over the next few weeks and support you to do it. That is how we backwards map these things. We don't just simply announce, we're not doing summative tasks anymore, we're just going to do formative, and we're going to start doing it straight away. Now, I know that we don't literally do that, although some places do. But we don't consider these micro checkpoints, we don't consider the implementation, we don't consider gradual release, and we do all of this for our students. So we can have all of these great ideas, but unless we truly consider implementation, the effectiveness of things just don't work. And I hear it time and time again. My school wanted to do this, but I just didn't know how. So I sat back and I knew the new thing had come along in a few years anyway. My school wanted to do this and we've been doing it 12 months, but I still have no idea what it is and no one's checked on me. We were going to do this, but I found it too hard and I didn't understand it. So I'm just doing the old thing. I hear it all the time. We need to be really clear where we're headed. We need to be really clear on the deliverables. We need to be really clear on the micro checkpoints. We need to backwards map. We need to utilize gradual release, and we need to utilize scaffolding, just like we would with our students. So I would love to know in your school, when have you not done this and how did it go? When have you done something like this? If you have, and how was it? Or has this just opened up a whole new way of thinking around when we have ideas and how we need to implement them rather than just having an idea and actioning it straight away? As always, if you've liked and enjoyed this, please share, do whatever it is you do, tag, whatever, however these things work. Flick me an email if you have any thoughts on it. I would love to hear your insights. Otherwise, have a great day, night, evening, whatever time of day it is for you, and I'll see you somewhere soon. Bye. Thank you so much for tuning into today's episode. I really do hope you have enjoyed it. The information discussed today was just that, information only. It's not specific advice. If you take action following something you heard today, it's important to make sure that you get professional advice about your unique situation before you proceed, whether that advice be legal, financial, accounting, medical, or otherwise. Please reach out to me if you have any questions or if there's anything else I can do to support your own wellbeing and wellness journey, whether it's another topic you'd like me to discuss or whether it's support in your school, workplace, or individually. And if you do know someone who might benefit from listening to this, please remember to tell them about it, share the episode with them, or suggest my Instagram, my website, or LinkedIn where they can find out more about me and what I do. And as always, I will see you in the next episode.